And welcome to the Harbingers Talkback! I'm so excited!
Pumped.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. Tonight, we're going to chat about Harbingers Chapter 1 Coven. Yes, chapter means season in this context. Chapter 1 Coven. If you are brand new here, this is a little bit different than what we normally do. Normally, we play a game, and that game is Savage Worlds. And the story we've been playing is Harbingers Chapter 1 Coven, which takes place in the town of Blackpoint with 5 young witches, and essentially what happens to them as the town begins to crumble all around them and what they must do to try and save it. That's what you're here for. So if you are brand new, there's a lot of spoilers ahead. So I would recommend, if you don't want to get spoiled, to come back later. You can catch this in the VODs instead. But yeah, so now that we've gotten that through, the other thing I should say is just a content warning simply about the things we talk about, because our show is rated R, TVMA. Any of those things dealing with gore, man, all I want to say is sad content. Dealing with sad content. If you aren't here for the sad and the horror, then you might leave, because we'll probably be talking about some of that kind of stuff tonight. Yeah, let me also tell you where you are. You're here on the DAT network. That's the Dragons and Things network. Tonight, we do not have any tier rewards. We will not be doing the array simply because there is nothing to array for. But that doesn't mean you can't still tip. So if you like what the DAT network does, you want to see more of what we've got to offer, and you want to show that support, one really good way of doing that is just sending us a tip of any amount, $1 to whatever you can imagine. That goes a long way to help us continue to bring this stuff to you. If you can't tip and you don't want to, that's okay too. Just talking about the network, talking about the show. You can use hashtag Harbingers RPG if you're talking about this show. DATFam is a good hashtag if you're talking about the DAT network. Those are also really great ways to support. So thank you all, first of all, for simply being here. We're very happy to have you. Yeah, let's see. Let's go around and introduce yourselves. So tonight, tell them who you are. Tell them who your character was from Coven, and just a little description of them. And yeah, let's start with that. Let's go with, I don't have any of my dice, so I have to magically pick. Let's do Randy.
All right. Hello. I'm Randy Alvarenga. I played Leander Notley in this past season of Harbingers. He was the younger brother to Piper Notley, kind of disheveled hair. He was very kind-faced. He couldn't make you scared usually if he tried. He did try maybe a couple of times, but he wore greens and sort of browns and was very in touch with nature and plants, and had a little hummingbird familiar named Willow. That was Leander. Well, I guess is, because Leander's still there.
That's true. That's true. Let's see. I'm trying to decide. Okay, we'll do a question for you all as well, even though we're about to ask lots of questions. So the question is, what do you think is next for Leander?
Oh, he has absolutely no idea. I don't think that's a fair question for any of us. But it's good.
Well,
basically,
just curious.
Yeah. He has. So I think he's in a better place now than he was at the beginning of the series, in that he sort of has some closure, which we'll probably talk about a little bit tonight. But he has no idea what that means. What is his life going to be without sort of the village, and where is he? He doesn't know. So he's going to be a traveling sort of wanderer, I guess, trying to figure it out.
Oh, hi, PEG Jody. Thanks for the subscription. Hello. You will check in on that too. Jody is one of the folks who works for Pinnacle, which makes Savage Worlds. So
hey.
Hey. Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's sort over to Adam. Adam, same thing. Tell us who you are. Tell us who your character was and just a short description of them. And what do you think is next for Hattie?
Sure. Hi, friends. My name is Adam Kahn. I played Hadrian Hattie Marth in our lovely season one Coven of Harbingers. He was a local fisherman. I've actually got all my hair currently up inside my hat. I also have a glass eye as well too because he was missing an eye and very
Wow.
disheveled, gross hair. I went
So wait,
very method acting for this.
are you saying that Hadrian plays Adam Kahn? Because that's what it
Accurate.
sounds like you're saying.
Very, very accurate. And Moxie brought it up too. I actually wear a wig on our cooking shows. The Hattie
there you
hair is
go.
the real stuff. But yeah, he always just walked around smelling just kind of like fish. He was one with the water. And I don't have it next to me, but I have my fishing pole in the other room. I'll have to go grab that in a bit as well too. Wandering around with a fishing pole, and he was a giant coward, scared of everything. So scared of everything that he almost died from being terrified on our very last episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad that didn't happen.
I mean, what does Hattie think is next?
I mean, I kind of same
Anything?
Yeah, it's.
You don't have to have an answer.
Well, his big thing. This will be a question. There is still a question in his mind from how everything kind of ended when we were kind of leaving the echoes of the world we knew behind. There's still questions in his head that he wants answered. But I mean, he's at least happy. He's with the 4 people that tried to push him through all of this and really became very close with him. One of them happens to be in a cube right now, but
that's normal.
Yeah,
Just normal. Yeah.
That's Hattie.
That's awesome. Thank you. Sorry, I was like, earthquake? I occasionally you go, am I feeling an earthquake or am I making things up? Yeah. Awesome. Well, let's hear from Philip. Philip, same thing. Who are you? Who is your character? A little bit about them, and what do you think is next for Bertram?
My name's Philip Rossi. Hi, hello. How are you? I played Bertram Thornhart. How to describe Bertram? Bertram is a person who is not a great witch, but pretty handy with a tomahawk or a crossbow. He's part of the town militia, and I would say he was very self-assured. I think
one way to put it.
That is the kind way to describe Bertram.
There you go. I like it. Awesome. Well,
and
what do you think is next for Bertram?
What do I think is next for Bertram?
Sure.
I don't think Bertram knows what the heck's going on. I don't know if you pose the question to Bertram, he would be aware enough to give an accurate prediction. For me personally, I think if Bertram does get out of the cube, I think it goes one of 2 ways. Either everything's chill, cool as a cucumber, but I think it's more likely that he has serious mental issues and really struggles with the fallout of what happened at Black Point.
Yeah, well, I think that he would be in the right to feel that way.
Yeah.
So, awesome, thank you.
Gone are the days of playing a very cocky character. Back to...
Oh, boy. Same thing for you, Diana. Who you are, who your character is, a little bit about them, and what do you think is next for Rowan?
Sure. Hi, friends. I'm Diana Restrepo. I played Rowan Thornhart. I was little sister of Bertram Thornhart. Well, I don't know. Maybe not. We don't know. If you watched, we don't know the truth. But she's very magical based. She had like wavy, flowing hair. Had the circlet. Had a moon necklace. Also, wine-colored dress. Always kept herself quite neat. She was very curious. She was also very jealous and nosy, but she had a heart of gold and always wanted to make sure that her friends were always okay and feeling strong up until the very end. Up until the very end, she started to, her world started to crash around. And she felt very lost, and that's where she's at in the state of mind. And in terms of what's gonna happen, what she thinks, I think her biggest thing is putting Bertram in a vessel, in a body, just to hug him and see him again, and hopefully, if he's real, he can be there for them again. But she killed her mom, and Bertram's in a little cube and doesn't know what's next. I mean, this is her family now, the guys you see here, so.
You, Rowan and Bertram, have that in common. They both killed their mother.
Oh my
God! Runs in the family.
True siblings. There you go. There you go.
I guess
you guys
so.
truly are siblings.
Oh God! I have to say, you know, I remember when that moment happened, and then I was like, in the moment, I was like, oh my God, I just blew her up, like she's gone. And then Randy asked me something. I was like, yeah, whatever. I didn't mean it so like nonchalant, like it's okay, whatever. Mom is dead. I felt like such an ass after the show. Like, oh my God, that was awful. But I didn't mean it like that. It was just kind of like, well, what are we gonna do? Like Diana was saying, well, the world's falling apart. So I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean it like that. That's been on my mind like all week going, God, I feel like such a jerk.
That's the question everybody's wanting to ask tonight, Diana. Why did you say it that way?
I didn't mean to. But I don't know.
My DMs are full of people being like, why is Diana so cold-hearted? She just doesn't care about it.
I'm sure. Awesome. Thank you, Diana. And I guess I should tell you who I am. I am Meghan Caves. I am the game master, or rather one of them, because Philip is also a game master here. And I also had a character. Her name was Piper Notley. She was sister to Leander. She is the apprentice, the senior apprentice, or the elder. Yes, the senior apprentice for the elders. And I think, well, I guess I'm going out of order. She appeared, she has red hair, but she kind of magically altered it to be fall colors, so it's green, red, orange, and kind of a gold color. She's kind of prissy. She's a little bit like Percy Weasley for any Harbingers fans out there. She's a bit of a brown noser, things like that. But she's kind of got on the journey to discover that her idols are not as perfect as she thought they were, and it's letting the fire out inside her. Maybe, hopefully becoming a great leader in her own right, but I don't know that she's there yet. For what she sees for herself next, I think she's currently in the moment is very confused, but sees that there is a dragon that is nearby and feels like, I think Piper very much feels like everyone is her responsibility and feels like she needs to make sure that they're all safe, and is feeling very overwhelmed but very determined about that. I think that's where she is. Yeah, let's get into some of these questions y'all have. I'm really excited about this. Before we do, let's check in, see if we've got any things. I do think we have a few things. That is a good point. Ancestors, you can still send some stuff if you would like tonight. Our witches still desperately need a little bit of advice. So that is an option for $15. You can send an ancestral message. So we do, in fact, have a few of these. I think, let me see where we have begun. There we are. Our first one, ancestral message, is from Ancestor 5 Foot Latina. Ain't no mist thick enough. Ain't no forest dark enough. Ain't no reality strange enough to keep this party from finishing their quest. I ruined it. Ain't no mist thick enough. I like that song. That's very awesome.
Good job.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Latino.
Thank you.
We also have It's Ed Moore, who's resubscribed. P.E. Jody, who has resubscribed. And we have another ancestral message from Ancestor Neva and Omar. They say, thank you all for a fantastic Chapter 1.
Yeah.
Welcome,
Ancestors.
You're welcome, Ancestors.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Ancestors. Yes. Yes, thank you very much for that. For your praise. Thank you all very much. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit of what the plan is tonight. You guys have questions. We hopefully maybe we'll have the answers probably. We're going to start off with the questions that were submitted to the forum that's been going around on social media. Then we will get to any questions in chat. So hold your questions until after that point so we don't lose them. If things go through chat real fast, it's hard to keep up and we might lose your question. We'll answer those. We also have a few questions of our own that we might get to as well. That's the plan. Let's dive in. So,
Yay.
The very first question. I know, right? Are you excited? I'm excited.
I already before that. I wrote down one question that someone already put in. So, yeah, just for later, that has been noted. I just wanted to let you know. Cool.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, first up, we have a question from Moxie Blue. Moxie Blue says, who came up with the idea that Bertram would be dead the entire time? What was everyone's first thought when the scarf came off? Okay, so there's two questions here, so let's go with the first one. Whose idea was it that Bertram was dead the entire time? I feel like that was mine, but I don't remember.
I don't remember. It might have been mine. It was a group decision.
It was, well, two groups.
And the two of them.
You two, yeah.
Yes, us two.
Yeah.
Couple group. I think, I know it was your idea to, I think it was your idea, it was either your idea to be dead, and then I suggested more detail that I won't share here.
I think that's true.
But those who know the setting know what I'm talking about, probably.
Right.
But yeah, I can't remember. I remember it was very much a group decision. That's a funny question. But let's put it this way.
I want to say I suggested being killed, and you were like, what if you were already dead?
Maybe that was it.
Insert lore that everyone except these three people know. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, I think you're right. Okay, and then what was everyone's first thought when the scarf came off? I guess this is for the three of you because I knew what was happening.
Take it, Diana. He was your brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was your first thought?
I didn't see that coming, and I think it was like a thing where after the show I was talking to Adam, like, you don't remember her description in the beginning? I said, no, I have the worst memory in the world. And he was telling me how, like, you describe a man running in the forest, and because he knew it right away. I did. I was blown away by it and quite shocked by it.
Yeah. Awesome. What about Adam, Randy, what about y'all?
Do you want to go first, Adam?
Sure. Yeah, well, it was more, I realized that, kind of piggybacking off of Diana's comment a little bit, I only realized that because then somebody else had brought it up. I'm like, oh yeah, and then I remembered that that whole description that you did, and then when I was telling Diana, she's like, I don't remember that. I'm like, yeah, when we chatted about that like all the time. Yo, that was wild when he slowly started pulling that scarf off. I'm like, you bastard, you've been tricking us the whole time.
The visuals was all Philip. I didn't know Philip was going to do that either, and I was pretty impressed.
Really?
Yeah.
It was great.
Wait, did you have your? Oh yeah, you have your scarf in the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
was planned from the beginning, even when we.
So it was there
all the way back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
like forever ago. Like a year now, probably.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I had absolutely zero idea that was where that was going. I knew something was up because I kept getting like, he smells weird, or like this thing's happening, right? Like I knew something was up, but like that first scene, I don't know what it was. I just kind of pictured it like the opening sequence of Game of Thrones, where like it's just like some random dude dying in the forest.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, cool. We're seeing that bad stuff is in the forest.
Right.
I had no idea it was going to be you. And then when it came off, I remember the moment just being like, oh my goodness. What? Like I'm like sitting there trying to piece together the puzzle, and I was missing like huge chunks. It was after that session when Meghan was like, yeah, I planted the seeds of that back in episode 1. And I instantly, as soon as I logged off the chat with everybody, ran to the living room, found the VOD, and rewatched it.
I need to do that.
And I was like, not only do I have to watch this, I have to reclip it and send it back to the group. Which I did.
Yeah.
And he did.
He did, yeah. Yeah, that's funny. Awesome. Thank you all. Let's see what our next question is. I believe this next question is also from Moxie Blue. Yeah, so this one looks like it's for me and Rossi. So it says, what was it like being a player and GM in this season? Which obviously meant you had to coordinate with someone but not share too much. You know, the coordination on my part wasn't all that difficult because I kind of was like, here's my plan. Now, Rossi, go figure out what to do with it. I feel like Philip had the harder end of that, at least this go, than I did. But I will say that being a player and the GM was really hard, and I think I could do it better in my mind at least over time with some practice. But it's very confusing to play a character and go, okay, I've got to remember what information this character has and keep that separate from the information I have without feeling like I'm leading everybody around by the nose or leading them too many places. Like figuring that line out and then also still getting to inject emotion and just the stuff that I like in a character was really complex to me, and I would like to try to get better at it. It's hard. Put it that way. What about you, Philip? Do you have any thoughts on this question?
I thought it wasn't too difficult playing Bertram because although Meghan and I had talked about sort of the big picture of what was going on and around where we would probably end, all the middle bits I had really no idea. I didn't know what was going to happen at all. I knew that, Black Point wasn't real, and I knew the setting in general, and I knew that at the end we would not be there anymore. But apart from that, I didn't really have any information. So it was pretty easy to just, stumble along with everybody else. Apart from knowing that I wasn't really alive, that nothing changed for me as a player. I think it was difficult. The reason we took 2 weeks after Meghan's final episode is for me to figure out what I was doing, because I knew Meghan would stop somewhere, but I didn't know where that place was. And once she stopped, I was like, well, how do I... What am I supposed to do? So I had to really sit down and think about what I could do that would fit in the confines of Harbingers in general, and not mess up anything for the future, but also be interesting. I think what Meghan and I talked a lot about is making sure the players still had agency. I didn't want to do a flashback where it takes place, years prior, because then I thought, how exciting would that be for, my fellow players to be like, well, it doesn't really matter what we do because the end result is what's already happened. So I think that was the tricky part. I think on my end, I think I could do better next time if this comes up, would be not sharing with Meghan too much, because I still want her to enjoy the exploration as a player, and I feel like I don't know how much she could really enjoy knowing where stuff was what was gonna go down.
No, I feel like I did a lot. I mean, in relation to Philip's 2 episodes, I knew that we would be trying to save Bertram, but I kind of knew the space we were going to exist in, but I had no idea how we were going to do that, how you were going to get us there, what the experience of it was going to be. So as far as I was concerned, there was a lot of surprise. I had no idea you were going to bring in Bronwyn. I had no idea you were going to bring in a lot of people. Yeah. So I thought it was really cool. I basically just said, okay, like as soon as this is what I think all the players would have loved to have been able to do. But after my episode 8, Are we all like, hello?
Yeah.
Neva and Omar saying they're talking about Adam's t-shirt, so I was like, oh, we all have it.
Yeah, we all have them on.
Sorry, not to interrupt and distract.
Oh, no worries. But basically, after that was done, that 2-week period, Philip was like, okay, so what's going on? So I just basically was like, here's everything. Here's, some specifics that that might be points that just are there of interest. So Philip got to kind of get the lowdown on what's going on, unlike everyone else.
Yeah.
I think you guys did great. Great story, and I could imagine that would be friggin' hard. But that was a lot of fun. You guys did awesome.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine being in that, like, where Megan's final episode ended to, like, okay, Rossi, you're free to go wherever you want to go. Like, that must have been really hard. How did you sort of tackle that? Can I ask a question? Is that too much?
Sure,
like
no, just... Yeah, it's connected. Go for it. Just as long as we get through all these questions, we're good. Oh, Savage Clint! Hey, Clint also works for Pinnacle. Hello!
Savage Clint!
Welcome!
Oh,
sorry, go on, Randy.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering, how did you go about sort of starting to figure out what you want? I mean, I get sort of not wanting to do it in the past, but how did you sort of decide and, like, build that out?
I think it was by sort of process of elimination. I knew that, like, that moment with the dragon, if when we come back to these characters, that Megan wants to have that be a moment. So I knew I couldn't go forward from there, but I knew I didn't want to go backwards and not have, like, stuff everyone did matter. So it sort of made me choose sort of a moment, a snapshot in time between those 2 points. So it sort of built out from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a box. Definite box.
Yeah, playing the box. I was
okay.
Getting.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Number 3. This question is from Louisiana-born, Texas-raised. They would like to know, what is everyone's guess for the setting? And I don't know, or no idea does not count. So let me specify. You all don't, none of these guys, except for Philip, are going to know the actual Savage setting, because they don't know the settings well enough to know that, which works great in my favor. But I will say the setting is a genre. So you could guess that.
Genre?
A genre?
Yes.
You guys know nothing. Now guess.
but the problem is the Collector is one genre, and then the world of Blackpoint is another genre. Because I would say Salem Witches, Witch Trials.
A lot of quotes.
Yeah. I don't know where to start.
And then I don't know, the Collector could be like Frankenstein, steampunk. I don't know.
Unanswered.
That's not a valid answer. Yeah.
I think the thing that sticks out to me is I keep forgetting her name. I have it in my notes, but I don't have it right here. The like voice that was inside of the one that was inside of what's his
Mina.
Bertram?
Mina. Yeah, Devlin. That's right. Mina Devlin.
Mm-hmm. Mina Devlin.
She had like a southern accent, so this is kind of a cop out because it's really the only Savage World setting I know is Deadlands. Right? So maybe it's like Deadlands, but like I don't know, like future Deadland.
I don't know.
Anything's possible.
Okay. Randy's going with future Deadlands. Adam.
I like that. I like that guess. Yeah, Adam, what do you think?
Well, I think the only one that I'd probably be familiar with was when we did Department of Mysteries was Rippers. But that was, I mean,
Mina.
to me, with Mina. Harker, a different Mina. It's the
I
same
know.
person. She's combining all worlds now.
All the Minas!
It's very, very much. I almost sense almost like a different levels of hell still, because we're in this in between. We're in the real world, as we were kind of told. We're in our fantasy world. It's just like different levels of hell, or type of like purgatory or something. That's kind of where just lost souls throughout end up in just all these just different realms. Yeah, just like a sense of purgatory or something. We're in the land of Lost. Lost. This is season 8 of Lost or something. Crazy. There were smoke monsters. Hey. There were scary monsters in this game. That makes sense. Yeah.
True.
Hey, I think that's a good guess. These are all good guesses. You all don't have a whole lot of information, because the world you've been seeing is Blackpoint, and Blackpoint could be anywhere.
What's your guess, Diana? Give the man your guess.
I was writing down another question for the end. I don't know, because I don't know the settings of I don't know. Steampunk / Frankenstein, Department of Mysteries is the collector, and then we're living in Salem Witch Trials / Snow Globe Hunger Games. There you go. I did it.
Everything is the answer.
So,
multiverse.
You think it's probably closest to Rippers in some way or another, from what it sounds like.
Yeah.
It's a good guess.
It's too many.
No, I think it's a good guess. Yeah, I definitely did strike gold. I see that in chat with these folks who don't know the setting. But, when I first played, I didn't know the setting either that we were playing. And it was really cool to experience that, kind of to, see the setting as I went. And granted, that was different because I knew that we were playing in on a Western Deadland. We were playing in Deadlands at the time. But I didn't know anything about it. So it was really cool.
I think I will say in defense of my fellow players, I think everyone else except for Megan comes from much more of a Dungeons and Dragons background. Is that true, Randy?
I mean, I do too.
Yeah.
Pathfinder.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to say that all of us have played in a lot of homebrew, non-setting places. So not Dungeons and Dragons you don't have to play in a setting. So asking them for a setting when they don't have any background on it, it is perfect, because they really when we started playing, we were like, here is Suede, here are the core rule set. Don't do any more research. Stop there. So
just leave the rest of it alone. And
we're self-building.
I remember we were building the characters. That was so frustrating because Megan wouldn't tell us anything.
Right,
you psyched yourself out on that one.
Wait, can I share this?
Y'all psyched yourself out.
I was so mad.
On our character sheet we're these
redacted.
giant black boxes of just redacted information.
Yeah.
And so it's abilities blanked out. I have no idea. Okay, cool. And it where it says where to find it, because that says the setting, I imagine. That's also blacked out. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, there's all this random stuff on my sheet that I don't even know is there.
My character sheet is a false character sheet because we have a group. We have a group place to keep all our stuff, and my character sheet is just a lie. It's not even,
It's got more. I use savage.us to build these, and anyone who uses that knows that it very helpfully tells you what page and what particular book it is in. But whenever you're trying to keep those books away from your players and you're going to use that character sheet, well, you have to hide it somehow.
Oh no, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
But I should have done white. I don't know why I made it black, so it looks like some redacted.
It works.
No, it looks like a secret government file that you haven't shared with us.
Yes. Yes. Oh goodness. Okay, let's see here. We've got 2 questions here from TTRPG Gifts. The first one is for Randy. Randy, were you inspired on something specific while creating Willow?
Yes and no. And what I mean by that is, I knew I wanted a familiar because I love animals, and anytime I can have a familiar, I want one. Like, I saw that
I'm
was
with
one
you.
of the things you could pick, and I was like, yes. And I've seen a lot of familiars, that are very similar, like like frogs or like cats or owls. And I was like, those are cool. And owls is the one that like really stuck in my head, and I was like, yeah, but I don't want an owl per se. And so I wanted something that was like, and so like the inspiration came when I was sitting outside on my balcony looking at some trees, and a little hummingbird was like flying around. And I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is perfect. Because for me, a hummingbird was sort of like, it's small and it appears really weak, and then like when you look up information about hummingbirds, they're actually really really freaking awesome and cool and powerful. And I was like, that's really cool, and I wanted to imagine Leander like that. So the colors were completely different from the one I saw outside, but like, yeah, that's sort of where it came from.
That's cool. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, this next question is for Diana and Philip. TTRPG Gifts asks, how did you establish or build your sibling relationship? Did you establish that before or in game?
Pre-game, when we used to work together, he always teases me like a brother. This is true.
True.
It is. It is true. We had a whole ordeal over one piece of toilet paper whenever we were getting photos. Was it photos, I think, taken?
Photos,
and whether or not.
Yeah.
You don't remember that?
I don't remember this.
Yeah.
Well, you were going to go to the bathroom, and Philip came out of the bathroom with one square of toilet paper and said, I saved this for you. That's all that's left. And you weren't sure. You weren't sure if that was true or not. And it was a whole thing after that. It was a whole thing.
In fact, you said, no, I know that you're trying to play a trick on me. It's not true. And I said, fine, you don't have to take it with you. And then you went to walk away and you came back and took it.
Rossi likes to tease me.
Yeah, I mean, I think we knew that we wanted to build in some pre-existing relationships.
Yes.
And I think, it was sort of open to the group, but Diana and I do have a very familial relationship in general, so I thought it would work well.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. And then we built off of it when we were building our characters in our session. So
I like it. All right, here's our next question. This one is from Anonymous.
Anonymous.
I like it.
This person says, great first season. I came from Wildcards and I'm happy to see more Savage Worlds. Any chance we'll get the others from Wildcards as characters or cameos? Also, does the new production company mean possibly a reboot of Wildcards? So this is a question about Wildcards. So any of you who don't know Wildcards, that was a Savage World show I did over at Saving Throw show, starting in 2017 until 2020. I don't know. You will have to tune in regards to cameos. I would love to have them on when we have guest spots. It is entirely possible. No reboot is in the works currently, but thank you for asking. Okay, next question is from Civil Savage 880. And they say, before the reveal that Bertram was dead and at least partially possessed, what was everyone's thoughts about what was going on? So what did you think was going on with Bertram before you knew? Anybody have any thoughts?
I'm really glad he was possessed and it wasn't... Well, actually, I still don't quite know because there were, like, things that could, like, take Bertram's shape that were revealed. And so, like, what was actually Bertram and what was, like, trying to place the blame on Bertram, I'm still not quite sure. But I guess what I thought was happening was Bertram would, like, go to sleep at night and then, like, kind of sleep murder people. Like he was like I don't know, like a altered consciousness version of Bertram was like doing these actions, because there was that scene where he woke up in the I want to say it was one of the elders' homes, and he was like more dirty than he was the night before. And I was like, oh, so he's like getting up in the middle of the night and like doing things and not even realizing that he's doing it, is what I thought it was. And I thought it was him, not like a possessed thing. And so like the fact that it's a possessed thing makes it, I guess, better, right?
Yeah. Yeah. What about Adam? What about you and Diana? Did you all have any thoughts about what was going on?
I was kind of thinking that's the same thing along like with Randy. Like at night something was happening because we heard all these stories about things out in the woods, and maybe something being able to crawl into his ear in the middle of the night, like slight possession or kind of like almost like werewolf-esque. It was more just at nighttime something would happen, something would take over. And then during the day he was fine. But I mean, obviously, during the day he was possessed, and it was somebody pretending to be him that entire time as well too.
Yeah.
But it was, and then when there was possession, and then the creepy crawly thing too that could take when he was like looking at the shadow thing out in the woods. That was Bertram as well too. It's like, oh, that could be a thing too. Bertram's a murderer in all sorts of different levels, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's also a question. Did you all think something was up with Bertram? I mean, I think everybody did, but did you just think it was like, I don't know, false? And not really something going on with Bertram?
Rowan wanted to, it's one of those things where I played her as, these things are happening. I don't think it's my brother. It's not my brother. It's not like she would psych herself out and just tell herself, it's not Bertram. But still question Bertram every single time he'd be like, come on, bro, I'm your brother. Like, believe me. And there's still part of her that didn't want to believe it, but also still, like, hung on to him. So, she didn't want to believe it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And whenever you don't question.
Mm-hmm.
I think, like, the reveal of the photos from the past with Bertram standing in it with the elders made me think that, like, okay, Bertram was sort of a part of all of this and had his memory wiped or something. And, like, whatever reason that had to happen, like, Bertram was getting revenge is what I thought it was.
Yeah, well, it makes sense.
Even the pictures, though. I mean, that felt kind of like I guess maybe a red herring a little bit. Like something's like, oh, I'm gonna plant this in these pictures and make you think that it's definitely Bertram. I'm like, but there's no way. There's no way Bertram could have like been there. Something's out to
or there's more things to discover that you all haven't discovered yet about everything.
We have to wait.
More questions.
There's that thought too.
Oh boy, yeah. Awesome. All right, here's the next question. This is a question for everyone except for me and Philip. This is from Civil Savage 880, and they say, I know Megan and Philip have played Savage Worlds before, but what about the rest of you? Is this your first game experience? If not, what other Savage settings have you played? If so, what are your thoughts on the game system thus far? So we kind of have a mix here. We've got a few that have played Savage Worlds multiple times, a few different settings, and some has played none. So I'll let you all answer. Yeah.
None. I had no experience with Savage Worlds when this started. And what that meant was to get prepared. I was like, I have to play a game of Savage Worlds or I'm going to look like I don't know what I'm doing on stream. So I played a sort of game of a setting that's sort of being worked on by someone for ChupacabraCon. And so that was technically my very first time ever playing a game of Savage Worlds. So I came into this and knew how to roll die. But I remember talking through it with Megan and sort of being a little bit nervous because I didn't start playing tabletop RPGs until college, right? And that was D&D. So being like, oh, I'm going to learn this new system and do it in front of people online was a little bit nerve-wracking.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Diana, I think you've played the next most.
Yes,
because you did
so.
Savage Pathfinder. Yeah. As well as Rippers.
Yeah. So Megan ran us through Savage Pathfinder. It was like a four game, right? 4 episode game?
4 or 5. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that was my first experience, and I played a rogue in that game. And then the second time was Department of Mysteries with Adam and Megan, which I absolutely loved. So got to play it twice.
Yeah. Yeah. Is Rippers the only you've played, Adam? Have you ever played any other time?
No, that's the only Savage Path, or not Savage Pathfinder, but Savage Worlds setting I've been in is Rippers with Department of Mysteries, which was awesome. Definitely missed that show as well too, which was great.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I watched you guys do Deadlands for all those years over at Saving Throw as well too. Watched a lot of episodes of that. That was really freaking cool too. Well, I mean, you guys did multiple settings though too, and
we did.
Some of them are cool. I mean, I think the only other one was the Carnival one that I had watched, but other than that, I know there's multitudes of them, and we're playing in one as of now. But so far, I have definitely enjoyed whatever this one is awesome. Whatever and not whatever, but and then Rippers was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
mysteries
I really like Rippers. It's very cool. For anyone who doesn't know what Rippers is, since we're talking about it, it is basically all the universal monsters. So you're dealing with Dracula, you're dealing with, well, not even just that. You're dealing with Jack the Ripper, you're dealing with werewolves, you're dealing with all of these kinds of things in 1895 London, which is really cool. And Department of Mysteries mixes that with Harry Potter, so it's a little different. But still, highly recommend Rippers. Awesome! Let's go to the next question, which is from Civil Savage as well. This is another one. Any ideas about what the Savage World setting or Harbingers is? I think we've already answered that question. No they don't know.
No.
Next one is also Civil Savage. Civil Savage says, how early in planning for the show was it decided to alternate GMs? Will it always be Megan Phillip rotation, or will the rest of the cast take turn GMing future episodes? Well, that was a decision I made from the beginning, although we were kind of... And the reason I did that is because I really like to play. I like GMing a lot, but I love building a character and getting to go on the journey with the character, and I wanted both of those things, so I initially brought Philip on as a secondary or co-GM. And then I know that some of this cast has interest in GMing. It's not planned as a, like, for the overall show, but you will likely see some others as well. I don't know that everyone wants to do that.
So much pressure! That fam, Lucas. That fam really wants me to do it. It's just a lot of pressure, and then I always feel like I'm not going to get the rules right, and I'm going to, like, say something stupid. I'll do it one day. One day.
I did both of those things, and the world didn't end, so...
Well, our world came to an end.
Yeah,
that's true. That is
that's
technically true.
That's true. It was already doing that, though. I don't...
Well, accurate. You just helped it along.
Yeah. All right. Here
I know I would love to see Diana GM someday. So.
Oh my god, you and like everyone.
You should do it. You should do it, Diana.
I'm gonna have to do a practice round, like not on stream.
No, practice round on stream. Best way to go.
Best way. Our final question that we have pre-submitted. Yeah, I think so. The last question.
Yeah.
About the rotation. Unless you had anything you wanted to add.
No, I don't think so.
No good. All right. This one comes from Almost As Cool, who some of you might know. I don't know. Also goes by Jordan.
Yeah.
What was the hardest part about switching to Savage Worlds, and what was your favorite aspect of Savage Worlds?
Here, I'll answer.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I've said this answer before. It's a lot easier and not as crunchy and informational. And it's just super easy. I appreciate the easiness of it. Ta-da!
Yeah. I'm with you.
I think for me, I sort of started playing Dungeons and Dragons in high school, so I have a lot of experience with how that game system works. So So I think the tough part for me is sort of like walking away from the mastery of the rules. You know, like I'm like pretty familiar with either exactly what the rules say in Dungeons and Dragons, or I can guess at or come up with a solution for what the rules would probably do. You know, like a check. If I don't know what the check is, I can guess, and it'll be understandable. I think that was the tough part, walking away from that with Savage Worlds. I made everyone sit through, in our 2-week hiatus, I made everyone sit through me running a practice combat to see if I could get it right.
No, it's good.
But I think my favorite part about Savage Worlds, I think, is how lethal it is. Like the total abolishment of hit points. I love that. Like everyone has 3 wounds, no matter how strong you are. Like a gunshot could end it all. And obviously exploding die. I think exploding dice are the coolest mechanic that this system has. Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Randy, Adam, do you all have any thoughts on that?
Oh, I do. So I have like completely been like, yo, I want to get more into Savage Worlds after playing this, just because I think it's such a great system. What I would say for me is the best part is I think the idea of bennies is super awesome, because what it encourages in the players is, this is something that I really, really want to do well, and I didn't roll well, and I can spend maybe 2 or 3 bennies. If this is the thing I want to do, then I can try and really get this done. And I think that's so cool, because it tells you that I don't know, it just made me really excited to be able to be like, hey, my character is going to be a healer, and he's going to be able to do this, and that's his thing.
I also like the failures, though. The failures tell a story.
Oh no, it's when you do fail, it's savage. Yeah. But I think just being able to influence it in that way is really cool. Is what I guess I'm with you. I mean, like, or the story. I mean,
yeah. Indeed.
I'm kind of the same way as Rossi. I played D&D and Pathfinder for so many years, and coming away from, oh, you want to do this? Cool. It's going to be a sense motive check. Oh, you have to do this, and you know, I don't mind the numbers. I was always a big math numbers nerd in school and everything, so that stuff doesn't bother me as much. But yeah, stepping away from stuff like that, just knowing, okay, I don't have to do that as much. Savage Worlds definitely seems like a little bit more freeing for like the storytelling, and not so much based on mechanics and stuff. I love the exploding dice. Like that to me is always, I always feel like a little kid when I had like that 30 with Hattie, with like I felt like the most powerful, most awesome person in the world at that time. That was so cool. And I have to say, I have an appreciation, a very, very hard appreciation, as much as I hate it, for that fear table. I will never talk bad about that fear table, because I have failed on that 3 times this season, y'all, and almost died from it.
Yeah, lots of phobias in there. Lots of phobias.
So many phobias. So many phobias.
All right, folks. Now we will take questions from chat. So if you all have any, start putting them in there. But in the meantime, I
have one that came from chat earlier that I can
okay,
share.
yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
Go for it.
This was from PG Jody. What other role-playing moments are folks beating themselves up about? Was the question.
Oh, that's an interesting question.
I think that was in regards, I think, when Diana answered about blowing up her mom. I think that was...
It is.
Yeah.
But that's still a cool question.
No, that is a good question. Yeah.
I feel like I have a tendency to leave a game. And I usually have anxiety fallout. You know, there's usually a like, oh, should I have done that? That was probably dumb. Why did I do that?
Yep.
Was this good? I feel like that's good. I think that's actually a fairly common thing. But yes, I definitely have that fallout. So sometimes it's hard to pinpoint specific things. I tend to get anxious when I make large decisions that affect the whole group. because that's always a little bit nerve-wracking. So anytime, like whenever I shoved the cube at Bertram, or whenever Piper did that, it was a great moment. Like, I was excited for the moment, but there was also a part of me of like, okay, I hope I didn't take that moment from anybody else. You get you get anxious about that kind of stuff. But that's all I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure as a GM, there have been plenty of times where I was like, why did I do that? That was ridiculous. I could have done this and it would have been so much better. Hindsight.
I think for me,
it
was the moment with Bertram and sort of deciding to make him angry enough to hit the tree because he wasn't going to hit it by himself. And what I mean is, like, Bertram and Leander had sort of a very testy relationship. No, I really liked it. And playing that was so fun. And the thing is, like, me and Philip are really close, so it was very easy to, like, let Philip, like, sort of be sort of mean in the moment as Bertram. And for that moment, like, it felt right. Like, it felt like something that Leander would do, knowing that would have spurred Bertram on. But then when Mina Devlin came out and then Bertram was, like, going to be the host, and at that point I didn't know we were going to go and try immediately to go and save him. My one thought was, oh my god, I've, like, sent Bertram into this, like, into Mina's, like, he's gonna be a puppet for the rest of his life, like, and it's my fault. You know what I mean? Like, I listened to this person and I felt so bad and didn't know. Like, Leander was like, I need to help Bertram. Like, I need to save him. And that was a really emotional, like, one for me. Just, I was still beating myself up after it. I was like, was that the right thing to do? Should I have just kept trying to hit it with my sickle and not do anything?
Oh, no. Did anyone else have anything like that you can remember?
I feel. Go ahead, Adam.
No, I was clearing my throat. Go ahead. Right.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say. I mean, I sort of built my character as kind of a jerk, and I definitely felt at the beginning. I was like, I want to make sure that, like, even though my character is a jerk, that I'm not being a jerk to my other players. So I think there were definitely points that I was like, like, was that too far? And it became tougher when I got a hindrance that was mean, so it just sort of, like, underlined that. Like, I know I can be mean to Diana, because I just generally am. And I knew that and I knew I could give Piper a hard time, because if it was bugging Meghan, she could just thunderbolt my character. And I think most of the time I knew I was good with Randy, because he sort of, like, set up this antagonistic relationship. But every once in a while, Randy's a very talented actor, so every once in a while he'd start to, like, tear up, and I'd be like, oh shit, did I push him too far this time? And then I think honestly my biggest concern was Hattie, because Hattie's such a quiet character that I wanted to make sure I wasn't, like, steamrolling over Adam's sort of spotlight time, because Bertram's sort of loud and stuff, and I know that Adam is perfectly capable of, like, taking the spotlight, but that's not necessarily true of Hattie. So I wanted to make sure that, like, my character didn't roll over Hadrian. And I think there were several times where I was like, oh man, maybe I just, like, stepped all over, like, Adam's bit, because if I make Adam make Hadrian be assertive to take the spotlight, then it's sort of like going against what Adam set up Hadrian to be. It's not really fair.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah. Never did. I stayed in the back.
Yeah.
I think the one that comes to mind is right towards the end, where we found Bertram, and it was, the whole goal for me, it was, Bertram's angry, he's going after Leander, and Hattie just wanted to get him out rather than just trying to stop him. And because he didn't, like, I feel like because he didn't get in there to try to hold Bertram back as well too, Bertram had that opportunity to chuck that tomahawk at Leander. And that was something I looked back on. I'm just like, oh God, I'm glad it didn't hit him. But at that same time, I'm just like, oh, would it have been different if I would have gone in and you when I tried the empathy before? Obviously, that last one I failed with him, which would have been awesome if it worked, but it didn't, which is fine, which made it more interesting. But if I had gone in there maybe a little bit sooner to try to hold him back, maybe he didn't have that opportunity to go after Leander. But it all worked out. It was fine. But that's one that kind of plays in my head a bunch when I think about it.
Yeah, I feel that. That's awesome. All right, thank you all. I have collected some of the questions that I saw come up. So the next one I saw is a question for me from Neva and Omar. Question for Megan: when is the mystery box coming into play? The mystery box, what they are referring to is a wild cards thing in which after a certain amount of money was donated, you would pull from the mystery box, which would just introduce all kinds of havoc in the game. My intention is to stay very far away from that thing, for everybody's sake. So, yeah.
Wait, is this some sort of, like, hot potato where, like, we didn't get it now, so you're just gonna, like, saddle me with it next chapter? You're like,
I mean,
it's half full. Here you go, Philip.
Anything is possible. No. Yeah, it was an intense thing indeed. All right. Next question is from Moxie Blue. This is for everyone. If you could design one spell yourself, what would it be?
As our characters?
I think it's
or just in
just
general?
you. Just a general question. I don't know. See, this is an interesting question if you're applying it in the framework of Savage Worlds, because Savage Worlds in general has a limited number of powers, and then you take those powers and you trap them, or you add specifics, like maybe you take Bolt, which is just your general like magic missile type spell, but it could be anything. It could be a little fireball, which is how I used it. Rowan used it, the same spell, as an eclipsed moon that would shoot out a beam. It was the same thing. It did the same thing. Or it might not if you trap it with mechanics. So you could still make something interesting that way, though. Sorry, Randy, you had something to say.
Yeah, just because one of the setting, like, so what Megan did for us was create our character sheets with those redacted parts, and then, like, in another sheet had, like, the information we needed to sort of build our characters, so, like, the spells we were able to take as witches. And I would create a spell that was healing for Leander to be able to use, because there were no healing spells for witches in whatever setting.
There's a reason for that.
I imagine there is. I saw that and was like, I'm still gonna be a healer.
You can still heal, you just can't use the spell. You all had one person in your midst who could use the healing spell, and that was it. Not in this party, but in Black Point. That was it.
Oh. Was that as well?
Yes, 'twas.
Oh, the Lobo lady.
She was different.
Yeah. I would say a spell. I don't remember if it was in there, but one that I like from Pathfinder is like mirror image, like create multiples of yourself.
Oh.
I always found that one really interesting.
You can do that in Savage Worlds as well. It's called mirror self, but it's summon ally. It's the top level of summon ally.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. And I do want to say on spells, I'm going to take boost or lower trait every time. That spell is absolutely insane, and I loved every second.
Yeah, it is a very helpful spell. Indeed, especially if you use it like you did. You really used it.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
Good spell. That was good.
Yeah. I will say... So I played a game of Champions in college, and if anyone doesn't know Champions, it's like a superhero game. And I wanted to have, we basically played ourselves as the characters as if we were superheroes. So we were like in our college, but then we would go and be superheroes at night. Our professor was our GM, so it made sense. But I created a character, what I wanted. We got to pick the powers we wanted, and I wanted molecular manipulation because in my mind, I was like, if I can manipulate molecules, I can do anything. So that's what I would do, is figure out some way to make molecular manipulation into a power, but it'd probably be way OP.
Wow.
Dang.
Yeah. Anyone else have anything for this?
Oh.
I think.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, then let's go on to the next question. So this question is from Neva and Omar. And they ask, it's for everyone, what was the most emotional moment for you / your character this season? Anyone have any thoughts?
I think mine was probably the end. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you? I would love for you. What was it like?
Being an actor helps, and then just kind of immersing yourself in that character while you're playing it, not thinking about Diana, but thinking about Rowan, and thinking about this is your last attempt to get your brother back, your only family member, and that was my drive for that last part, and that was just so emotional because it's like saying goodbye to someone and you don't want to say goodbye just yet. And that was really, like, thinking about it is really hard, yeah. You don't want to say goodbye yet. So that was the most emotional part. I think, yeah, that was really tough. That was really tough, just pleading and just don't wanting to let go.
Yeah, makes.
Yeah. So I took shamed on my character sheet as like very early on. Like I knew I kind of wanted him to have been like had this sort of thing that happened in the past that I was hoping would come up. And given the way that the story was going, I was like, oh, we're not going to be able to touch on it too much. Like we touched on it in the woods a little bit when he saw Stanley, and then like I felt like, oh, stuff in town is so crazy that is not where we're going, and that's fine, right? Like I was like, maybe we'll come back to this later. It's fine. When we found Bertram, I think I was a kind of shocked by Bertram being like, I would do the same thing that I did to Stanley, which was sort of tied to all of that shame stuff. And so from that moment on, all the way to the end where he finally got to have a little closure with Stanley, which I don't know if this came across to everybody, but the way I sort of built it was that him and Stanley were best friends, and it's actually Megan who helped me come up with them being best friends. I wanted him to have been a student in school and to have killed one of his classmates, actually two of his classmates, but being but originally that's sort of what we talked about. Except we like it ended up being just Stanley, or at least that's where we went with this, right?
The other one was saved. The other one was able to be saved. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think when I originally talked about it, that's what it was, and Megan was like, "Doesn't it make more like what if you and the kid who died had a closer relationship of some kind?" And I was like, "Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe we were friends." And it became this thing where, or like, I'm not gonna go too much into sort of the details there because maybe we'll talk about that later, if there is a later. But basically,
the next question is actually specifically for you, Randy, about if you were really that emotional last week during that final moment, or if you were just acting.
I mean,
you could just tack
it's
that on
both.
there.
I mean, like, it's basically both. Yeah, like, I was really emotional because I was like in the moment as Leander. Like, here was this best friend of mine who I had killed by accident. and I was being blamed by Bertram to have been almost going to do that to Rowan, which was like this horrible, horrible thing, and it was just really, really hard for Leander to do that. And so, yeah, I really felt all those emotions. Like, I left here and was drained after that episode, in the best way. Like, that is the kind of storytelling that I really like, where you can sort of immerse yourself fully in what's happening. So,
yeah.
But I was just really
believe that character.
Exactly.
I really believe you are that character, and that's what really brings it, like, truth behind it. Sorry, go ahead, Rand.
No, you're right. You're right, and that's exactly it. That's where the truth came out, and I was really thankful that Philip brought that into the story, because I had no idea that was even going to be touched on.
What about everyone else in regards to the most emotional moment for you or your character?
Can I potentially go last, because mine kind of comes with a question?
Sure.
Yeah.
And I will go. I think for Bertram, the most emotional moment was seeing his mom die, and have his mom accuse him of doing everything while she's dying. I think that was very emotional for Bertram.
Yeah.
That was emotional for me through Bertram. But I think on a personal level, like, emotional for me was the season finale, putting Diana, and to a greater extent Randy, like, through the ringer. I mean, I think it's tough to see your friends in pain, regardless of whether it's for a game that they are like complicit in.
Yeah,
it is really weird. Because you're like, oh, I'm making this sad moment, like the moment you just talked about, Philip. I was like, okay, Bertram like killed his mom, and then I was like, and she's gonna react like this, and I was like, oh no, this was so harsh.
Yeah, I mean, totally. Like the thing with Diana, like your brother potentially going away. Like, yeah, obviously that's really emotional. It's tough to see Diana / Rowan deal with that, but like, that's sort of like, if she didn't want that connection, we wouldn't have built it to begin with. And, like, with Randy, he, like, wrote it in his backstory. And, you always talk about, like, RPG players are like, yes, like, I'm an orphan, both my parents are dead. Like, there's two ways to take that. One is that, like, I don't want any attachment to anything. Like, you'll have nothing to hurt me with, GM. Like, you can't come after my backstory at all. Or the opposite way, which is, like, here's a big old open wound of, like, regret and shame and anger and stuff, and, like, I want you to poke it so I can, like, play this character. And I think it's very clear that Randy is the latter and not the former. So, I was like, yeah, this is gonna hurt Randy, but, like, he's sitting there asking to be poked. Like, I
don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the most emotional moment was for me or for my character. It's interesting being on the other side of those moments, in a way. And honestly, I think that's a fault of my GMing. I don't feel like I should feel on the other side of those as much as I did. And I think some of that is me figuring out, sort of like I was talking about with having a PC and GMing, is figuring out how to exist in both of those spaces while I'm trying to be more analytical and remember, all of the things and make sure that I'm supporting all the players and doing this and doing that and doing what I planned and changing the music. And then also giving myself the space to be more presently in the character. I think I could have experienced some of those with everybody in a different way. But having said that, in the 2 episodes where I got to play, I'll just speak from those. I felt like there were a lot of moments where, at least for me, I definitely feel like I was like, okay, here are all of my moments, because I all of a sudden didn't have the GM side of it. So I really tried to, in my mind, and at that moment, Piper was kind of in a crisis mode. Piper's kind of like, what is happening? I need to protect everybody. Can I do that? I don't know. I'm angry. I'm sad. I'm scared. All of these various different things. And so I feel like that got to come out some. And then I really enjoyed getting to play with the final kind of, here's the moment I mentioned earlier. Here's the cube. I'm going to startle you into hopefully going into it. I enjoyed that. It's fun. Okay, Adam.
All those moments are great. There was a lot of emotional stuff in this show. One let's start with me was almost dying on the bridge on the last episode. Because of that dang fear table. Like all I could picture was just me falling over into the abyss and being gone, and that would be it. He would be gone. The other moment, and I thought about it more afterwards. I really didn't know what to think, because at the very end we've got this beautiful image of all of us walking through this black point that is no longer going to exist for us anymore. And Philip says, you guys see people from all around town, and he says, Hattie, you don't see your brother anywhere. And that I felt my heart shatter, because then I went, which goes into my question, what the fuck did you guys do to my brother?
Well,
because that's the thing, actually. The whole kind of thing with Hattie was he had a twin brother, Killian. And the thing is he disappeared in the before times, and a lot of people don't remember him or think about him at all, but he knows he was there. He knows he was real. He knows something happened. He doesn't know what happened. And you see, like, Leander had this beautiful I thought that was a beautiful moment with it. And you see all the militia people that we know died. We saw them there, and you have to say, yeah, you don't see him. I'm just like, but then where is he? Was he real? Is he in the real world? What did Meghan do?
Here's what I have to say. I think that that story is further off. For lack of a better way of putting it. Story just we haven't just gotten to that part of the story yet.
It's the adult version of you'll understand when you're older.
Yeah. But it's not fair. I'm the oldest one of the group. I was the oldest one out of everybody.
Oh gosh. Okay, awesome. This next question is from Zevin45. It's for everybody. What are you most looking forward to from a character development standpoint in Chapter 2?
Ooh.
So I'm kind of interpreting this as, like, what are you interested in doing? But that is a good point. Maybe we should come back and answer that question, because at the end of the night tonight, we will announce what Chapter 2 is going to be. So you have to stick around for that, which is really exciting. There is one more question after that I've caught from Rigger Raven, and is asking if did Meghan know that Philip was going to pull Stanley out? And I will say, no, I had no idea. And I'm super glad that Philip did. I thought that was a really cool way of handling that moment. I did mention it to Philip, but I didn't know that Philip was going to use it. That was great.
I didn't know I was going to use it.
Oh no? You just were like, hey, I'm going to throw this in
moment.
Here.
I felt like it got pretty dark there at the end after Bertram got stuck in that cube. And I was like, man, I really beat down on Randy. And I was like, oh yeah, Randy's got that whole backstory thing that we sort of didn't touch on. And I was like, I should probably do something about that. All the best GM moments are unplanned, and in the moment you're like, oh yeah, what's going on here?
That's true. That's true. Yeah, all that kind of stuff is always like, oh, I fell into this. I thought that was gonna go weird.
As a
player, it
player,
always seems like, yeah, why didn't I think of that before?
That may have been one of my favorite moments in a game I've played ever. So awesome. I thank you very much for putting that in there.
All right. I think this is a really good moment to take a quick break, and we will be back because the cast has some questions, and if you all have any more questions, we will answer those as well. We're going to take a quick bio break, and we will be right back. And then at the end, we'll announce what's for season or chapter 2.
We'll return!
Every day, millions of people face heartbreak in the form of a silent killer. I'm talking about character death. I'm talking about malicious dice. Failed saving throws, critical misses, failed skill checks. Malicious dice can strike any character at any time, and the results are devastating.
I only got to play Celestia for one session. I kept failing. Roll after roll after roll. And then I got eaten by an aberration in the dark. I couldn't roll anything above a 5. The dice just...
Diana's tragic story is far from unique. The time to do something about malicious dice is now. And Tabletop Loot knows how to help. They're providing quality, affordable dice jails and shipping them to players in need across the nation. Go to tabletoploot.com today and order a dice jail for yourself and anyone you feel may be threatened by malicious dice. These safe, secure, and humane facilities will keep your tabletop safe from the kind of dice that don't care who they hurt. But it's not about giving up on your dice. Rehabilitation is possible for many of these viciously low rollers, thanks to Dice Jail's tabletop reintegration plans. It's time to stand up for our characters.
It's time to put malicious dice where they belong.
The games we play are the stories we create.
The fortress doors swing open.
Every story is unique.
And the sound of war drums rises.
Sometimes our stories come to us when we least expect them. We need to be ready no matter where inspiration strikes. And sometimes our stories are told over great distances. No matter where your journey leads you or how your story is told. The games we play are the stories we create. Sirenscape can help make yours epic.
Sirenscape is searchable, fast, and customizable from any device with no need to pre-install any sound. Adding epic atmosphere to your game has never been easier.
Great and mighty Dark One, hear my summons. Bring plague and misery unto this wretched world, and be born again in the blood of this unworthy servant.
What are you guys doing in here?
Huh? Nothing.
I thought you said no one was at home.
Nobody's supposed to be home. When do you get out of here?
No. Why are you wearing dresses?
This is not
There's a pentagon on the wall.
That's a pentagram.
What's a pentagon?
It's a pentagram.
Gone.
Pentagram.
Gone. It's a pentagon that has to have a start of a pentagram. Are you guys forming a cult?
We are summoning a god of pain and destruction to rain misery on my stupid stepdad for being a total boner.
Sick.
And Kyle Bates, because he ruined the next season of Game of Thrones for me when I specifically told him I hadn't read the books.
Douche.
Is there gonna be a human sacrifice?
Yes.
No.
What?
Whatever. I'm in.
You can't
No.
just be in. Like, there's a whole process.
Let me in your cult, or I'm gonna tell Leonard about the time I caught you trying on my bras in my room.
What?
What?
No.
Wait, that's not how you do that, is it? Let me in your cult, or I'll tell Mom that you used her candles for a satanic ritual.
No. Go back to the part about him trying to
That didn't happen.
In season 4 of Game of Thrones, Tyrion and
You can be in the cult.
What?
Thank
No,
you.
she cannot be in the cult.
Definitely in the cult now. Thank you.
Gonna put up with this?
I do have a knife in my hand.
She does have a knife. It's a good point.
Okay, God. Everyone gather. You're gonna cut your hand and give an incantation to the dark void.
Oh, dark monster thing. Bring sadness. You know what? This is dumb. Can we get to the part with the human sacrifice?
There's no human sacrifice.
Dude.
What? How? You have to have like a fatted calf.
Yes.
No.
Or a unicorn.
Why are you agreeing with her?
Or a virgin.
Absolutely.
We can use Leonard.
No, you can't use me. Guys, I'm totally not a virgin, all right?
Not a virgin.
I've done the sex.
Describe it in detail.
There's two of
Step
us.
one.
Step one, man loves a woman. And then
I'll take that. And plus, this one was trying on bras in my room. Pretty sure still a virgin.
We could kill Alan.
And we can kill Alan.
Kill Alan!
We're not killing anybody. Cut your hand, put blood in the bowl. No more fun.
Wait. Did one of you already use this?
No.
Because I would bet money that one of you's a leper.
This is why I didn't want her to be in the cult.
I didn't want her in the cult.
I don't want you in the cult.
It's not your cult.
It is now.
You know what? Fine. I don't want to do this anymore. There is no cult. No cult.
Leonard? You're a nightmare.
I'm the hero. I just saved the entire world from your evil cult.
What? Okay, good.
My dad needs his bowl. No cult.
Be done. Leonard!
Excuse me.
You're a nightmare.
I'm a nightmare? I just saved the world from your evil cult. Get out of here. Get out of here.
My dad needs his bowl and his letter opener. I'm gonna get that back.
I'll get it to you. I'll see you later. Tuesday. You got white
Your
stuff.
friend sucks.
Are you okay?
I'm so sorry about the
Are you
wax.
all right?
Fine.
Oh my god.
I'm so sorry.
Inappropriate sound is inappropriate. Don't let the action suffer from a lack of atmosphere. Let Sirenscape set the tone and bring your game to life. See? That's better. Journey to Sirenscape.com to download the app and make it the year of atmosphere at your table. And be sure to watch Dragons and Things every Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific on Twitch. There are legends of a mighty forge where the greatest tabletop weapons are smithed by expert crafters from the finest of materials. Only the strongest of adventurers may wield such relics. Weapons and armor forged from the strongest metals. Mystic foci for the forces of fate, carved from the finest stones. And unique treasures that cannot be found anywhere else in the realms. But beware, the forces of evil may find dark and powerful relics of their own in the online armory. Arm yourself with these gaming relics and equipment to take your tabletop adventures to exciting new dimensions. Go to NorseFoundry.com now to arm yourself with the finest weapons in the realms.
Hi, welcome back, everyone. To I'm Mid Twizzler. To Harbingers Coven. Listen, it's like a movie night. You gotta have some twizzlers.
I know. I'm in so much trouble. I'm gone through half of these Trader Joe's dark peanut butter cups. This is gonna be bad for me.
Oh, those are good.
Like, since you've been sitting there?
I shouldn't have brought them back. I brought them back from break and I've already had like 6. So.
Oh.
They're really good.
They're too good. We are not sponsored by Trader Joe's. But we're going to take that money.
If you want to sponsor us,
Yeah.
Trader Joe's, we're here and waiting.
Yeah.
We're waiting for your money. You know where to go.
Just waiting. All right, let's check in real quick with chat because we do have a few follows, including, I believe I said Savage Clint. Hello, Savage Clint. We have Natalie Kaiser, who has given us a follow.
Thank you.
Frankie Stank has resubscribed. And
Thank you.
Wolf's Fox. Wolf's Fox has followed. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks, friends.
All right. We have a question that was dropped in that I saw during the break from Neva and Omar. This is a question for everyone. Since Black Point was our snow globe setting, what other snow globe settings would you want to see as players? What other genres do you enjoy? I mean, there's so many cool things. There's so many cool possibilities. I can just think of so many things, but I don't feel like I can share that with anyone because, well, those could be future things, you know?
Oh.
Because I'm in charge.
Yeah. I'm a big.
You know what I would like?
Yeah, you go first, Randy.
No. You were going. Go.
Okay.
Be
I'm a big
free.
fantasy person. I don't know if that's gonna meet up with this game, but I love a good fantasy. I don't think Rippers is gonna meet up. I mean, maybe it will. Maybe that's the overarching setting. Who knows? Not me, certainly. But that Rippers Harry Potter game sounds hyped. That would be an awesome snow globe setting. Slope globe. Slope globe.
Slope globe.
Slope globe. Randy, take it away. I'm gonna eat another peanut butter cup.
I think like
I have one.
Ooh. Oh, look at that. How was it?
I went through the internet. Oh.
So good.
I think.
Molecularly, it was broken down. It wasn't as.
It's your powers.
Anyway,
I think like I really would like something kind of like BioShock-esque, like underwater, like inside of like an underwater city, kind of creepy, nowhere to
so
really
Randy
escape to.
hopes for 50 fathoms.
Oh, that is a setting. Cool. I will write that down.
50 fathoms. I'm taking notes. Anyone else? Settings you like or genres?
I mean, I feel like Adam and I played quite a few. Steampunk, I think would be kind of fun. It's something different. What else?
Crime Noir would be tight. I just want to use one of those voices, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I want to play like jazz music in the background.
Voices.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Narrate stuff.
What do you mean? Yeah,
I walked in
I agree.
through my plate glass window.
Me too. I'll play that.
I think that would be fun.
Just like lots of dramatic turns, like.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do I mean?
It's dead.
Exactly.
What do you mean?
Ooh, there's Deadlands Noir.
Which era? Oh, Victorian. Mm-hmm.
Victorian.
Did you say Deadlands Noir?
Yeah, someone said
Yes.
that in the chat.
Yes, Deadlands Noir exists.
Right.
Yes, it does.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Ooh, cowboys in that? Ooh, I like that.
I mean, it is Deadlands. There must be cowboys.
I mean,
I don't actually know if that's like what has to be in Deadlands, but that's my idea.
There must be cowboys in Deadlands. It is law. Mm-hmm.
I honestly loved watching the Deadlands show that you guys did. I would have totally jumped in inside something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Spaghetti Western sort of stuff is always fun.
Can I add one more?
Yeah,
Just
Yeah,
one.
please.
The only other
one.
setting I actually know, which is ETU, like East Texas University, because
ETU?
that is just Oh,
ETU.
Very Buffy.
ETU.
ETU?
Oh yeah.
ETU, Keith?
I just really think like the episodes I saw of that with like with Philip were hilarious.
Oh god, that was a good episode. That was a good one. Yeah.
Or a Firefly-esque too. Space opera cowboys.
Space cowboys, as long as it has cowboys.
Exactly. Cowboys and aliens. That works too.
Okay, I know that you all had a few questions. So, does everybody have questions? 'Cause I was just gonna say, like, Philip, do you have a question?
I do.
Oh,
this question
okay.
is for Meghan.
Oh.
Meghan, you are a GM who does lots of shows that are creepy and have mysteries. How do you go about making a game both creepy and mysterious?
Huh. That's an interesting question. With great difficulty is how I feel.
I'll just write that down for for the next thing. With great difficulty.
Yes, with great difficulty. I rely on I really like to set the mood and tone of my shows, and I like to do a lot of that. A major thing for me is music. Music is huge. I don't care if this game was going to be at home, if this game was going to be anywhere on stream, live, whatever. I'm using music. Music is one of it's like my co-GM. It's a really big part of it, and I even like to use sound effects sometimes whenever I can get myself to do that and have the space, but it's a little hard to remember. But one of the reasons for this, I played this one game, and this was D&D. Jordan, my husband, was running this for me and one other friend in college. And we were in this monastery, and Jordan set the mood. Jordan lit some candles, turned off all the lights, and I had this awful Alpine Blizzard cassette tape that was just like, like this moaning wind the whole time, and it's like crackling, and it's freaky. So he played that the whole time, and we had this most amazing adventure, being all creeped out in this abandoned monastery, and we ended up, the two of us, we had no hope of anything, but we ended up saving the day against this vampire. And he also, there was a note we found that he wet and froze, so it was literally frozen. So just how I was like, wow, this is so cool. Look at all of these things that you can do, these elements. And those mood items went really far. And so one of the major things I can do is sound. And I just love it. I like to score it. It's really fun. So that's one way I go about it. The other way is, sometimes I don't know. Sometimes, Philip, I'm surprised that you all are scared of things. I'm like, oh, I did it. It was scary, I think. Good job. So, but really what I try to do is imagine. I love watching mystery and horror, like haunted house horror, mysterious horror, atmospheric horror. And so I feel like I try to see that in my mind's eye when I describe it and hope that it gets across to you all. So I think I answered your question. Hopefully. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's just go around. Diana, did you have a question?
Okay, my main one is, what the hell is going on?
Well, that is such a broad question. Did you have a specific?
No, it's okay. No, it's about guessing what's going on. My questions are more like game related, like in the game.
Yeah.
Where was Eden Lobo going? Can we know that?
Oh. Yeah.
Or
she foresaw that the town was going to be destroyed, and she was preparing to be able to leave the premises if she needed to. So she doesn't really have a particular destination. She just knows that she was pretty sure that there was no turning back, that most likely she was going to have to leave. And that was why she was packing. So she doesn't actually have a location. At least not yet.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I have more,
Yeah,
but you
yeah.
can ask someone else now.
Okay, yeah, we can go in a circle. Randy, what about you?
Sorry, I have a lot of questions, but I guess the first one that I wanted to ask was think back way to when the very first episode and they missed the very first ritual. What did you think was going to happen next after that? Because where we went was so far from like what I thought was going to happen. Like when you first heard that we missed that, where did you think we were going?
That's a good question.
I can start just to sort of say, because like I thought we were going to miss the ritual and then like instantly like shadow creatures or something were gonna come from the forest and like start attacking everyone, is what I kind of thought. I don't know why I thought that, but just I was like, oh snap, like the world, like the ritual wasn't done, like everything is over like instantly. And I was kind of surprised that it was more of a gradual breakdown. And also that we were able to find some of the elders, because I didn't think that was happening.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be very much almost kind of like Silent Hill-ish. Because in Silent Hill, during the day, everything is just very misty, and then at night, all these creatures come out. It was kind of like, in that sense, if the ritual's not done, yeah, that same sort of stuff happens. But once the morning comes, it's safe. Like, that ritual was to protect night. Yeah, little did we know it was protecting us throughout the day and the night of all time. Yeah, that's what I was thinking was going to happen. It was just going to be like, yeah, definitely don't go outside at night. We're all going to have to hide. Like, we were all going to like start hiding, almost kind of like the Village feel too. Like, oh, the creatures are coming in. We all have to definitely hide and do something at night, and during the day, then it's all flowers and rainbows and better at least. And, yeah, that's what my brain was.
Wah, wah.
I'm with Adam on that. That's how I was
Really?
thinking. You're all gonna die in the end of night. Yeah.
Well, you didn't, so it's actually more positive than you thought.
Yay!
Well, that's one way to look at it, sure.
Yeah. What about you, Philip? Did you
already? I
mean,
guess you probably already knew some things.
Well, I sort of like I knew where we were headed, so I was like, "We're screwed." We're screwed. Like, oh, we got to get back in time for this ritual. I was like, oh, we're not making it.
Well, I think 5 Foot Latina in the chat is saying exactly what I also thought was going to end up happening, which was like we were going to have to figure out how to do the ritual. Like
Right.
I thought that's where we were going, because it was like we had Rowan and we had Piper, and we needed to maybe find one other person and we could do the ritual.
And the book.
That could have been something. That could have been something that you all did, but yeah, but it never really like became a thing that we focused on. So I was like, but yeah, that the thought came. I was like, I wonder if we could do something like that at some point.
Well, I'm glad it kind of didn't go that direction, because it would have been my luck. You guys would have been like, oh, Hattie, you have to read from the book. Hattie's illiterate. Like, words here. I don't know what do they say? What do you have to say? I'll do the magic.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Awesome. Adam, wait, who just went? That was Randy, right? So Adam,
Yeah.
Adam, do you have a question?
Yeah, I'm curious for everybody, because I one of the things I love about all games is just character creation. Creating character just to me is a lot of fun. I try to draw influences from stuff, but I'm curious as to all of you guys, what were like your influences and what actually drew you to making the characters that you did.
Well, I definitely, I don't really remember how I got to Piper specifically. I just remember, wanting to play with the idea, with the experience of being the type of person who had really tried to do something really hard because they thought they were doing all the things right, and they thought they were listening to people who were going to help them, and then learning that no, in fact, they were listening to the wrong people who led them astray. And now, what is my reality? I really wanted to play with that concept, and that reminded me very much of Percy Weasley, because Percy Weasley spends all this time even turning against his family, going, this is right, this is right, this is right, until finally he kind of, I don't remember if he gets quite that, like, comeback, but just sort of I think he does. I was kind of wrong. You know, I kind of see that I was wrong, and the humbleness and the just how traumatic that would be. That's where that character came from for me. I kind of wanted to know where I was attempting to go with her, and then figure out how to put her into the world, and then how to put her into the world as a GM. So I'm specifically talking about Piper, but yeah, that's and also I just really like playing witches who do magic and have a cat or a familiar, you know? I just wanted to, like, lean into that thing I love, so I did. Anyone
Go in a
else?
circle. Rossi, it'll be your turn.
Yeah,
Go in a circle.
I guess I wanted to be, I guess I'm always a little bit of a contrarian, so I was like, everyone else is being witches, I'm gonna be the least witchy witch that I can be, you know? So I did that. And also, you know, the whole GMing thing, like, I knew I was taking over, and we had this idea about Bertram being dead, but not so dead that he's all the way dead. So I sort of just had, I didn't know what I was gonna do, but I had this image of all of his friends having to confront and possibly fight him. So those are like the two things I had to go on. I was like, well, if they're gonna fight him, I'm gonna make him, like, tough to fight.
Really tough.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Like, tough to fight in a way
Very
that,
tough.
like, they don't fight. So I just sort of push that way. And, you know, I've never really played a character who's a jerk, so I was like, I'm gonna play, like, somebody who's sort of a dickhead. And he was kind of a dickhead.
But he had redeeming moments. Those were my favorite.
Yeah, you can't just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gotta have other things.
But I think you played him brilliantly, is what I meant.
Oh, thanks.
I think, like, you did a good job of, like, being a dick, and then being like, but here's why, and here's what's like those moments where we got those, like, small, like, glimpses as to what he was actually thinking and feeling were some of my favorite moments of Bertram.
Oh, thanks.
Like,
I don't always play dick characters. Okay. I realized that, like, some people, this is the first time that they've ever seen me play, and they're just, like, thinking, like, oh, I'm kind of an asshole.
Don't worry. The pirate show, he is not a dick. We're good.
Yeah, and I was playing that character before, and he's, like, the exact opposite of Bertram. I was like, I'm gonna play somebody different, you know?
On that note, I always play the badasses. Like, I always want to be, like, the ultimate badass, like the Tomb Raider and the Aeon Flux and stuff. And this time I was like,
Me too.
When we decided to be brother and sister, I was like, okay, what comes to mind? First thing that came to mind was Arya Stark. How she always wants to prove herself to her big brother, to her, you know, her sister. And then I just kind of went from there, just trying to play, like, what if she's, like, the jealous type? She's not as good as her brother. What if she's just curious and always gets into trouble? So I based my character off of Arya Stark.
Yeah, for me, I think I based it off of sort of where I wanted to go because of the hindrance that, like, I wanted. So I chose Shamed, and I knew, like, I want him to have a background where he's hurt someone and the village people around him are, like, staying away from him, and he's kind of had to withdraw into, like, his job at the greenhouse, and, like, him spending time with Willow there is, like, sort of his life. And that's sort of where I wanted it to be. I wanted him to sort of be an outsider in that way. And like, in my head, like, the beginning, I had, like, an entire intro scene for, like, how I, like, wanted it. And then, like, Megan, you introduced him the exact way that I was thinking, and it was awesome. So,
sweet.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed that. But like, really was picking those hindrances and edges, and then using that to sort of talk about why he is that way. Like, why is he shamed? I wanted to sort of explore. So,
yeah, that's cool. What about you, Adam?
So originally, I asked Megan. I said, "Hey, can I be a mute?"
I told him no. I told him no.
I said, "Yeah, can I be a mute?" And then
No.
and then we got to talking. I mean, obviously, like more in a personal setting, that would be like really cool. But then we were also talking about a VOD and everything, and I'm just like, yeah, nobody's ever gonna hear what I'm talking about, and the podcast too. But honestly, I've honestly never played a really a scaredy cat type of character. I mean, I always feel like I try to be supportive, which I feel like that came through, especially with the spells that I had were very support type of spells. But other than that, I'm always a person. I'm hitting somebody from afar. Even just like what we played all this year on Cyberpunk. I was a dude. I was a rock and roll dude who got to be just like a goofball and do drugs and all this other stuff. And then, back in Department of Mysteries, I got to turn into a werewolf and all this, just cool stuff. And I'm just like, I want to be like a sissy. I want to be something just completely other end from what I actually get to do. And I'm just like, I'll go with that. I can't be mute, so okay, I'll be a cow. Okay, let's make it worse. Like I can't see that well. I'm gonna miss an eyeball. Awesome. Yeah. Just want to do something different.
Cool. I feel you. Sometimes those are the most fun characters.
I really like that. Like he was scared, but like there were many times I thought like he was kind of like one of the bravest of like a lot of us. Like when the little kids were there in that tunnel, and he like was fighting so hard to like keep them calm and safe. Like
that was a great moment.
Yeah, that was a good moment for Hattie. I agree.
I like that.
On that
note,
that
was fun.
I have a question about the kids. Why was the town stealing the kids?
Was
there a reason for that?
That was essentially a distraction. The whole town was just kind of coming down, and Mina was toying with the town.
Okay.
Mina is a lot of things, but not really somebody you want to run into. She's not the nicest.
So was Mina like
she's
able?
Mean. No.
She's Mina.
I can't. Was she controlling the like shadow Bertrams the whole time, like while she was inside of Bertram?
She was in charge of the night haunts, yeah.
Oh.
Ooh.
We got some information!
You did.
That just makes her more scary now. That's
yeah. I definitely.
What about the roses? Was the roses a distraction? That was another question of mine.
Mina too?
You're welcome, guys. I did not.
Yeah, I'll tell you that was Mina. I'll tell you that was Mina.
Well?
I feel like, yeah. Hopefully I'm not ruining anything in the future. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, I think that you all, my kind of thought was, as you went on, you were becoming aware of how much Mina was doing to the town. Like that, I think, seemed fairly apparent, or I, in my mind, assumed. I'm not necessarily saying you should have assumed that.
Yeah, we didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it hit me that it was Mina. Like I know Mina had like set like what I thought was happening was Mina was sort of using Bertram when Bertram was weak, because at first I thought Bertram was just possessed, not like dead, right? And so I thought that was like her way of getting into the town and like fucking with the elders, right? And I thought the elders had made like some deal with the the collector, and that's why like stuff was starting to go haywire. It was like a battle between the two of them.
I mean, that is hard to know, at least currently. But yeah, I mean that's a good point. I mean, as far as you all know, in my mind, Mina seemingly somehow controlled Bertram or something, possessed Bertram, has some kind of power and control over Bertram. And there's the collector, who clearly has a hand in creating the town in the way that it is. But how all of that goes together, well, you haven't gotten all the pieces of the information. You've gotten some, but I think it would be hard. So what I often do, and like for people who know the setting can pick up on this, I lay out pretty much everything in front of you, but you don't have what connects them together. So until you can have all of that information, it's hard to make sense of the elements. So it's not your fault for having a hard time with that. You just haven't
Meghan.
Quite gotten there yet. Just that's it. There's more to learn.
That first time, the collector like popped his head out the window and was like, "Oh, you aren't supposed to be in here." I was like, I have no more ideas what's happening.
Yeah. For sure.
That definitely took it to someplace else, because it's like, cool, we're doing a spell, we're going into this in between and everything, and spooky monsters, and then went into a white room and somebody random sticking their head in. Like that's bizarre. Yeah. That's very it's very Matrixy. It's Matrixy. It's a good place feel. There's so many like feelings.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Where were we last? Philip, do you have a question?
Do you have a question?
Oh, me.
Yeah, do you have a question?
Yeah, do you have any questions?
I mean, I feel like I've asked you all so many questions over the course of this whole thing that I'm trying to think what is a new question. What is a new question that I can ask you all? But I think my question, I like this one. How does your character feel, or you, about the potential that Black Point is like, and everyone you know in it is just like completely gone? Your whole life is just completely gone. Like, what is that? How are each of your characters in your mind processing that in this crazy moment?
I feel like if Bertram was more with it, it would be very concerning. But I feel like he's not.
Sure. Yep. Makes sense.
Yeah, he can't think out of the box right now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hey!
I was half listening because there was a really loud 2 knocks on the outside. It freaked me out for a second. So I'm telling you, whenever I play this game, something happens. Okay.
I'm not even playing it.
Okay. So the question was, what do I feel like is going on with Black Point, or how does the character?
Well,
feel
how
that
does
Black Point
how does
exist?
Rowan? Yeah, how does Rowan feel about like how this knowledge of everything that you've known your entire life may not be there, may be gone? I mean, I think you've kind of said this.
Yeah, I did earlier. The most important thing is figuring out what's going on with Bertram, and then creating a new family, and maybe creating a new beginning, because there wasn't a before, maybe.
Yeah.
So it's moving forward. For Rowan, it'll be moving forward. And no, there's no whistle, Clint.
Thank goodness. Yeah, I think I kind of explained Piper's feeling on this too, but because Piper's very much just I don't think she's processing it. I think she's shut that down. She's gone, nope, not gonna look at that, because I need to understand how to survive this moment.
I think Leander would be really sad in regards to his parents, probably. Like his mother and his father. Specifically, maybe not being alive anymore if they were in the town when that happened. But I also think there's a piece of him that at the end of this season is kind of wanting to sort of move forward and try like this is like his time in the city wasn't great, or in Black Point wasn't great. He was shamed. Like, people wouldn't talk to him. Like, the idea is that, like, for him, now that he has that closure with Stanley, I feel like he's going to be able to, like, move past that a little bit. Which I think for him is going to, like, the first steps he takes into that portal and whatever world is over there, he's going to be able to see it in a different way and begin to actually see himself as being worthy of doing things. So I think that Stanley moment is going to change him. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? What about you, Adam?
Hattie's definitely scared, for sure, moving forward with it. But I think in the sense, so he has essentially lived through the most terrifying time of his life, and he somehow survived. And he's with people that survived as well too. So I think he kind of takes that as definitely like a win. And I feel like if he was to move on even more, he could potentially start shedding most of that fear and everything. It's like he saw things he could never imagine, saw his friends go through things. They went into this world to retrieve Bertram and seen people, die left and right from him. And but I feel like he's not, I don't feel like he would be as afraid to walk forward into what's next.
That makes sense. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Phillips, do you have another question?
I don't.
No? Okay, Diana. You said you had a few. Is that right?
Yeah, we answered some in between, but sorry. I had to tickle my throat.
That's all good.
If this was just a fun one. If we had to switch characters, who would you play?
Ooh.
Oh, that is fun. Ooh.
Andy, go ahead.
I would 100% want to be you. Like Rowan. Yeah.
It's funny because I would be you.
Oh. Yeah.
Come on, you tell me why.
Yeah, I think Rowan to me was just so interesting. Like the curiosity, the like being the younger sibling, but actually like able to do a lot of magic and enough to like become an apprentice, and I just really thought she was just like when Piper wasn't around, she was by far the second leader of our group, right? Like, and like her curiosity is what got stuff done. Like she was like, I'm gonna run into this building and find out what's going on. Bye.
I'm gonna go through the portal. Yeah, I'm gonna see what's going on in the window. Yeah, for sure. Curiosity is what was my driving point.
Yep.
Adam?
Well, I mean, all of you are braver than Hattie is, for sure. So that's I think probably one I would probably jump into would be Piper. I like how it was watching just Piper play out. I mean, she's very just kind of all over the place, but she questioned things as much as well, but she always tried her best to keep a level head. And like that's actually one thing I'm always drawn to with characters that I create as well too, is just kind of like that. Cool, this is, we have a game plan. This is kind of what we're going with and everything as well. And I felt like, yeah, she would step up and take leadership when she needed to. And I want to smooch Bertram too. So it's all good.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I think I would play Bertram. I think it is interesting to try and balance major character flaws. You know what I mean? And then also having a secret and all of those things, just finding that balance and that inner turmoil, I think would be really fun to try to play whilst trying to cover it all up and act normal. Is a lot of layers, and that sounds like a lot of fun. And Bertram also could just beat the crap out of everything. I don't know if you all realize how ridiculously powerful Bertram is. Ridiculously powerful.
I mean, how would we know? We don't know the actual character sheet.
That's true.
I think you've seen most of the stats, but you're right. You're right. You're right.
What was it? But I mean, he was like cranking out what, like 22 points of damage and stuff. I'm like,
when he was.
Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous.
Actually, I think that's why we handled that last moment with Bertram without wanting to make it a fight. Because it's not going to end well for us.
Would have been bad.
No. The first thing I whispered to you guys was grab his axe. He would have killed all of us.
Grab his what?
Axe.
Oh.
A-X-E.
I mean, that's one way to handle this situation, Diana. I don't know.
Oh, no.
That's true, but not as your sister.
New world, who knows?
Oh,
a whole different audience in here.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
What about you, Philip?
I think I would play Piper. I like the idea of like being somebody who's, you know, supposed to know a lot of stuff, but actually like is totally over her head in this situation, but has to convince everybody that she knows what's going on. But I'm definitely would be interested in playing Hattie. I feel like that would be a very difficult challenge, like how to.
Yeah. Oh man, you gave yourself a challenge, Adam.
Yeah, you did.
Just with the stats.
Yeah.
I want to say I'd play Hattie, but I'm too scared to play Hattie. That seems too difficult.
And just getting the more hindrances on it, and just being scared of bodies, and then blood. And then next thing, you know, if I wouldn't have died on the bridge, I was probably like, I'm scared of bridges now. And let's just never go over a bridge.
Oh gosh, that still kind of blows my mind.
I will say, can I share something personal real fast with the viewers about that last moment?
Sure.
And so for those who don't know, a few months ago I had a very big heart attack, and I almost died from it. And one of the things in this game is when you fail on the fear table past the 21, it's a heart attack from being scared, right? And so I think did that happen to Hattie twice? Was that Hattie both times?
No,
just that last
probably
time.
should have, but it was just that last time. Because I didn't always add the extra negative to it.
Yeah. So what happened in that last game? When Hattie rolled that, I was a little bit taken aback by what happened, right? Because I had known that that's a possibility in the fear table, and I knew, and I trusted these players at this table with me very implicitly, and Philip did such an amazing job of making me feel safe playing this game, and I wanted to share that because what for many of the viewers watching, if you know Savage Worlds, you know what happened to Hattie, and if you were listening, you could probably gather that. But he was very clear on being careful with explaining what was going on, and not focusing too much on it. And so as a player, I was able to just sort of be there and play the game and not be sort of thinking about myself and sort of that fear that I had. And I want to share that because I think it's so one of the things that I really like about this game and this group of people is that like when we started playing together, there were so many things that both Megan put in place so that we could all feel safe as players, but also that Philip, like the way that Philip handled that. And so like just I want to share that with you guys so that when you're playing these games, make sure to have like those serious conversations because like you might not know what could trigger somebody. And I hope that you have like really awesome friends and people you play with, like these two GMs who I feel like I was cared for the entire time. So thank you.
Well, good. I'm glad. Thank you.
Virtual.
Thank you.
Everybody bring it in. Everybody bring it in. Come on. Come on, guys. Come on. Yeah. Oh, there we go.
All right.
Cool.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you for sharing that. That was very nice of you. And tough, I know. Does anyone else have any other questions? And chat too, if y'all have any other questions. We're getting closer to the end, so now is the time. But what about you all? Do you all have any others?
I did see in chat earlier when we were showing off our shirts, they were wondering where they can get the shirts as well, if that will be ever a thing.
Yeah, it should be at some point, but I don't have all of these answers for you. But stay tuned to social. If at some point that does happen, then it will most certainly be on Harbingers or wherever out in the world. At Harbingers RPG, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Search that.
Yeah, because I would love to go out in the world and see a Harbinger shirt. I would probably cry.
Yeah,
I'd be like, this is so awesome.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
My only question
Any other
was,
questions?
Yeah,
go for it.
did everybody have fun?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Megan is a wonderful, amazing storyteller, and so is Rossi, and just really drew you in. I mean, I say that all the time to her, but it just really draws you in detail by detail. And Rossi, you did an amazing job for the two episodes that you had. I mean, I know you were really scared, but man, you blew me away as well. Like I was talking to Adam about it. Like you did a fantastic job as well, both. And you both kept it. Like it was very cohesive. Like being two GMs, it was still cohesive as a whole. So it still put me in that all the moments.
Good. That was, I mean, Philip. Philip did the cohesion on that end.
Yeah.
For sure. So.
Yeah, definitely had fun. So yes, Adam, yes, I had a lot of fun, even though I get scared very easily.
We do have one question here as well from Savage Clint, but don't let me cut anybody off if someone else had something. But Savage Clint says, don't know if someone asked, but what was everyone's favorite moment of one of the other players?
Oh.
I mean, I liked a lot of moments. That's a really hard question because I think everybody, or at least I hope, but in my mind, on my side of things, I feel like everybody got at least one really good moment. But I really liked the moment with Hadrian and the kids. I just thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
And it was so specific, and it was just because Adam, you sometimes, especially with Hadrian, because Hadrian was a quieter character, and but like that just was unique from anything else anybody else was really doing at the time, and it just, I don't know, it was just very genuine, and it surprised me in the moment. I was like, oh, that's so cool. But you often do that, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
I was gonna say Hadrian and the kids as well, especially that when they're all done and he got really tough, for the first time. It's like, we have to do something. These kids, we can't.
Yeah, that was fun. I liked that. That what's the word I'm looking for? Thing that causes thing to happen. That word.
Yes, catalyst.
Yeah, sure. That catalyst. I like it.
Albuquerque. You can say random words too.
Albuquerque.
I think Oh.
No, it's all right. It's the delay. No, go ahead, Randy. You're good.
I was gonna say, I think like when you say like favorite moment for another player, I think there's a couple of things that pop in my head because it's like favorite because it was like super dramatic and I like that, but like there's also just like a personal moment that I just really really liked as a player watching the other two players sort of interact in that moment, and that was when I realized that I thought that Piper and Bertram liked each other. Like that moment when they were outside talking to each other, and
both smoking.
Bertram was like, yeah. I was like, whoa! That was something that I didn't see ever until that moment, and then that interaction just sort of brought that together. And I was like, that's super cool. And
you know what was extra fun about that whole thing is that Philip and I had talked about it. I was like, hey, Philip, what do you think if we tried to go this direction? And Philip was like, yeah, that sounds great. But before we had done anything at all, we had just talked about it, hadn't started anything. Diana, as Rowan, out of nowhere makes that comment. And I was like, oh,
you have a crush on Piper?
It's perfect! It was amazing. That was amazing.
I liked when we were all just the whole moment with everybody trying to get Bertram to talk. What happened? What's wrong with you? Like Rowan is having a meltdown. Leander is just scared. Piper's out of her mind, and Hattie's scared. He's like he doesn't know what he's gonna say, and then does the spell, and then just the reveal of everything when he just looks at Hattie and says, I'm scared, and then he spills it. When he just spills everything that happened to. Just thinking about that too. That was a moment that tore me too. I'm just like, that was so great. I loved that moment for me, Rossi, just recounting the entire thing, and it made it very real, and it hit us all because it's like, oh, this is a lot bigger than we actually thought, and yeah, it was great. I loved it. I love that moment.
Yeah, that was a good one. I agree.
I also love really tiny moments. Like when we were on the bridge and Piper just grabs my hand from behind me. Just small little moments like that also is quite powerful. It's like
I agree.
Of like I'm there with you. Let's do this.
Yeah, those really build up too, because those are, to me, are so human.
Yes.
In a lot of ways, and I like that. Yeah.
Those are my favorite. There's quite a few, but that was the most recent one that really stuck out. Was Piper? Because Piper's the big tough. She's the tough girl, and she, then she became like almost like a mother to like Rowan in that time. So that stuck out.
That makes sense. That's cool. All right. Any other questions? Or is it time to announce what chapter 2 is going to be?
I don't know.
Don't we have a question related to chapter 2 that we skipped earlier?
I
Civil
do believe.
Savage, right?
It was Civil Savage, yeah.
Let me go back to that.
Something about seeing the characters where they're going in chapter 2 or something like that?
Yeah. Yes, I will go back. Oh, here we go. We can get back to that question. I think.
Are we ready for this?
Oh, sorry, it's Savon. 45. He's saying that.
Oh, Savon. 45.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that.
I might put it back in there, Zevin. Put it back in there, and we'll.
Zevin. Sorry.
We'll see if we can answer it. Oh, it's.
I think it was something like, Diana, do you intend on killing another parent in chapter 2?
Oh my God.
She's upgraded from kids in games. That's good.
Yeah.
We saved every kid, and that made me happy.
We did.
We did.
Yeah, we
did save every kid.
I I mean, do you guys want to know what chapter 2 is? Is that really... I mean, because we could just, like, not...
There's only two people that have commented about chapter 2, and that's Devin and Sybil Sage. It's chapter 2, drum roll, and nobody else seems excited about chapter 2.
Okay, well...
Hey, Shattered Tabletop Games! You're just in time!
Yes, we did just get a raid. Hello, welcome. Okay. All right, I guess if you all are want to know now we have a raid, then let's do it. Let's do it. Are you guys ready?
Ready.
What? Okay,
Question
perfect.
from Zavon.
You got it.
What are you looking forward to from a character development point of view in chapter 2?
Perfect. I got it.
All right.
All right. Let's find out what's next for chapter 2. The music didn't play, but we still got to see.
Why?
No, the music. I didn't hear it. I don't know.
I
don't know.
I didn't hear it.
But just imagine that had the Harbingers music to it. Oh, you heard it? Okay, good. Maybe it was just me.
Oh, they did. They did hear it. Oh, perfect. Okay.
Oh, you did. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really quick. I know that doesn't necessarily tell you exactly what it is, but what we will tell you.
Nothing.
What we will tell you, it is cyberpunk.
Whoa!
It is cyberpunk. The setting is the same setting it has always been.
Which is?
Black
Which is confusing.
We tried to get it. See,
oh, you mean? Never mind.
So, you all get ready. It's not going to be here. We do not have a specific date, but it will be in the new year. In the meantime, who knows what's going on, but I know it's the holiday season and many of you folks will be busy anyway, and so will we. But we will be back. So don't you worry. It will be Harbingers Eden Redux. It will be cyberpunk, and we will be building new characters for that. Also, what you should know is that I'm going GM. No, Philip and I will be switching in the GM chair, as I was trying to say, and we'll be doing it the other direction. So this time, Philip is going to start. This is going to be Philip's setting, and then I will hop on at the end for however many episodes Philip wants to bestow upon me, and we will see what happens. Yeah, so that is what to expect for next time. Early 2022, yes, is the goal. Indeed. Yeah, setting is the setting. Civil Savage has got it right, clarifies everything. We did have that one question from Zevin. So that question is, what are you looking forward to from a character development point of view in chapter 2?
Hattie is now cyberpunked out, and he has a cyber eye.
Oh wait, so Megan, that is a good question. Are we staying as Adrian and Bertram?
No. This is a new bunch of people.
See, we don't even know.
If you all don't know the basics of this, this is tactically we're going 4 chapters as of right now. Chapter 1, 2, and 3 are going to be with different people, and they're all going to come together like the Marvel Universe.
Nice.
Supposedly. So that is what we're looking for here. All of these folks, all of these characters you've gotten to know will somehow come together. That is the goal. So we will be meeting some new characters, which is very, Harbinger's symbol. Good one, Clint. Yes.
I love that.
Oh, me too.
Yes,
so great.
That is the goal. But it will be horror. It is always horror. Because, well, here we are. This is who I am. Yeah, so that is it for tonight, folks. Thank you all so much for joining us for the chat back for Chapter 1 Coven. Also, thank you all for just joining us for this whole season. This, when you're kicking something off like this, it's never easy. And it means a lot. It really does mean a lot, yes. So thank you all for that. Let's go around real quick. I'll tell you again, we will not be back until early 2022. Stay tuned to our social media for that. You can follow the DAT Network at the DAT Network on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Follow us on YouTube. You can follow us here on Twitch just to keep up. There's other shows that are going to be happening. Adam, Diana, and Philip are getting ready to do a new pirate show that is coming very soon. It's next
Sunday.
This weekend.
This Sunday.
This Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah, so get super excited for that. That's going to be amazing. That's going to be Pathfinder, so check that out. You can follow Harbingers at Harbingers RPG. You can also use that hashtag to search for our posts. That's on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. That's where you're going to be able to see any announcements that come along. So check that out to stay tuned for what's up next. Let's go around real quick. Tell them where you are. Tell them where you are. Tell them where are you. No, I'm kidding. Tell them who you are. Tell them who you are. Tell them where they can find you, I guess, on the interwebs. And if you have anything else you wanted to put out there, then put it out there. Let's start with you, Philip.
Cool. I'm Philip Rossi. You can follow me at the social medias at Philip J. Rossi. Phillips with one L. If it's two L's, it goes to a very angry lawyer in Chicago, so don't make that mistake. I don't know. It's just, that's the truth. Where am I? I'm in my closet right now, hoping to get out sometime. Where can you find me? The social medias, and also at The Adventures of the Siren Song, which we will be starting this Sunday. Adam Kahn GMing. And message me your awesome ideas for Eden Redux, because I'll just crowdfund it. It worked for Star Wars, right?
Yeah, I think that was crowdfunded.
Yeah. I'm just gonna kick that hornet's nest before we leave. Diana!
Hi, friends. Hi, guys. I'm Diana Restrepo. You can find me at DianaRest3 on Twitter and Instagram. I will also be joining the Siren Song and Set Sail on Sunday, 6 p.m. on this channel. And then on Monday nights, you can watch Adam and I, and someone else is going to be a special guest, I believe, this coming Monday. Meghan Caves on Alien Connections on the Norse Foundry channel. That is our Blade Runner meets Aliens. 6 p.m. as well on Monday nights. Come check us out.
Won't be on this Monday, but the
sorry, ignore me.
Monday.
Okay.
No, it's good. Not this one, but the following one.
Okay, so she'll be on pretty soon.
Yes, indeed.
Take it
awesome,
away,
Randy.
Randy.
Hey, I'm Randy Alvarenga. I'm taking it away. I am not on that pirate ship, but I wish I was. No. I'm really excited to watch it. I am on Twitter as Roller Raja. That's ROLLERRAJA. I spell it because people sometimes don't know, and so it helps. And then things coming up. I do have something coming up that I can't say right this second, but it's a stream that will be on the 20th. So if you follow my Twitter, it's another Savage Worlds game that you can maybe come and watch. Okay, wait. I can't say what it is yet, but I'm pumped for it. Like, this is my Savage World setting thing here. So I'm super excited. And I'm a nerd like that. And then I'm kind of just chilling. Like, life has been a lot this year, so I'm taking a break during the end of this year to rest.
During the holidays.
But if you have things that you would like to see me in, and you do things, hit me up because I'm free.
I forgot one more thing before Adam takes it away. I'm so sorry. Tomorrow, oh my god, brain fart. Tomorrow, I'll be on the Paizo channel for their one-off of the Great Grave train robbery. Excuse me for butchering that entire Rob train. I'll be
train.
at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I am playing an android, so come watch us tomorrow. Okay, that's it.
I made the
Go
intro
ahead.
for it. Yay! So go watch it.
Yes!
You did the intro. You did the intro for it.
I did.
Oh, awesome! I was messing with it today. Because I'm Adam Kahn, and you can actually find me tomorrow. Well, you won't find me tomorrow night, but I'm going to be messing with everybody. I'm going to be running tech for the show tomorrow night. I love the intro, by the way, Megan. Super cool. You can find me coming up this Sunday. I get to run a group through. So it is set in the Skull and Shackles Pathfinder 1E adventure path. I've got a bunch of like homebrew stuff in there as well too. I got a great group of people running through that. We've been playing it since July of last year, so just kind of hopping in and into our little adventure for Voyage of the Siren Song. And then Monday nights, like Diana said, you can watch myself along with her over on Alien Connections Foundry. And then if you want to find me on the socials, it's right below my face at Azerold, AZEROLD, and the numeral 1. I'm excited. I'm excited for stuff. Woo!
Awesome.
Yay!
Awesome. Thank you. Woo! And I am Meghan Caves. You can find me at Meghan Caves, MEGHANCAVES, on Twitter, Facebook. Facebook, it's Meghan Caves Actor. Instagram, just Meghan Caves. You can also catch the nutty thing that I'm doing, which is my own production company called Gone Rogue Entertainment. You can catch that and me and the things that I will do there at Gone Rogue ENT, on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. The most current recent thing that you can see is the short film The Whistler, and Diana and I are in that. It's a little bit of horror for you, so you can check that out. And we just became official selection for a film festival, which is really cool and surprising. I was like, woo! Very excited.
I know.
You can catch me. Oh gosh, I'm not gonna be able to tell you. I'm a podcast coming out on Thursday. Podcast Thursday. Just check out my check out my social media. You'll see what that is. That I believe was with Maka. And I forget the name of the podcast off the top of my head, but social, it'll be up there. It is a round circle talking about RPing in RPG games, so that should be really cool. I think there's other things, like I will be on Norse Foundry in 2 Mondays from now, so not the 15th, because that's my birthday, so I'm going to do other things. But the Monday, the 26th, I think, after that. I think that's it.
Yay!
That's all I know. Yeah!
Yay!
Thank you guys.
Yay!
What's up? Yay!
We did the wave.
Thank you for joining us.
Oh, no.
We did the wave. It's a very weird wave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. Seriously, it means a lot. We've had a lot of fun with you all, and we will see you all very, very soon.
Friends.
See you guys.
Love you all.
Bye.
Bye.